Okay, I got a box of rocks from West Virginia, or that general area, from my friend Mac Bales, and I need to test it out, see if it's any good. The first thing I noticed is that this stuff is Dover chert. Okay, and this responds to heat. You can heat treat it, I believe. All right, now not all Dover is heat treatable, I suppose. But this one is, right? As far as I know. Now, it needs heat higher than 500 degrees, as far as I know. It can be napped raw, but this is the Dover stuff. Now, I could be wrong about the heat treat, but if I remember correctly, this type of Dover can be heat treated. I have thrown it in the heat treat before. But you know, I could be wrong with the name as well. But that's what I was told in Tennessee, that this is Dover chert. Now I've napped other kinds of Dover chert that did not respond to heat. Okay. So yeah, it can be napped raw. It's very dry, very tough to nap, to get thin. It's not tough to nap in chunks like this, but when you start getting down to thinning the thin pieces, that's when it gets difficult, as always. All right, so this is all the same stuff. I need to make sure that this is heat treatable. I need to double check. So I'm gonna write on here and add it to my heat treat series. Need to see if this Dover chert is heat treatable. Uh, 500 degrees Fahrenheit plus. Okay. My turkey roaster only goes up to about 550 because of the insulated lid. The dial on the roaster goes up to 450, but it can get up to 100 degrees hotter than that because it has an insulated lid. So I'm going to try, you know, to bury the needle on this one in my turkey roaster and see how it goes. All right. What else we got here? I think we got Fort Payne chert for some of this stuff. Now, Fort Payne chert comes in many varieties. This feels like it naps like a limestone. Let's see. It's pretty rough stuff, but looks like if I can get into a clear spot, it might be nappable. But most of this, I wouldn't bother with it. And I don't know if this is heat treatable. It is nappable. Okay, once you get into a good piece, I can make a small arrowhead out of that. What's the dimensions? 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. You can make like a little arrow hunting point out of it. It's going to be rough, but it can be napped. But that's about the size that you can work with. With this particular piece, I don't think there's anything bigger in here because it's all cracked. All right. I think this is Fort Payne. A variety of Fort Payne chert. Like I said, there's many varieties, and I could be wrong on the naming. It doesn't really matter what it's called. My rule is, it only matters if it naps. The name doesn't matter. Does it nap? Yes, then it's good. Then it's nappable stone. It might be useful to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So this is like a 4 or a 5, maybe a 4. 5 is a floor tile. The floor tile that you buy that's high quality porcelain floor tile is a 5 on the nappability scale for all nappable materials. So that gives you a reference point. Go out and buy yourself a sample of porcelain floor tile. Start napping it. That's the mid-range. This is below mid-range. Why? Because this is a little bit harder to nap. It's harder in consistency or density than floor tile. And yes, I've napped a ton of floor tile, so I know. Okay. Let's see. Floor tile is actually not that hard to pressure flake. Let's see how this is. Yeah, this is much harder. But it can be napped, okay? I need to see if this is heat treatable. You never know. Some of this might not be heat treatable. Some of it might be heat treatable. It might look the same, but it's different. My rule on heat treat is try it. That's it. That's the rule. Try it. Doesn't matter what it is. If you have to ask the question, that means you have not tried it. Try it first and then ask. It'll be faster that way. Unless it takes you forever to do something, then yeah, okay, you can ask first. But you try it first and then you ask people after you've already tried it. And that way you'll have some experience under your belt already. And they'll know better what the material is according to your results. You know, you put it in, you ask somebody, yeah, I put it in at 550 degrees and nothing happened to it. What is it? Well, try 650. Well, I can't. Well, then you just got to put it aside and don't nap it. If it doesn't respond to 550, then you got something really tough. You know, you just have to nap it raw in some cases because it won't heat treat. And if it's a bummer when in the raw state, then it's going to be a bummer to nap. That's all there is to it. You might have thousands and thousands of pounds of cruddy rock on or near your property. Not everyone has nice rock on or near their property. This will make a nice arrowhead right there. A nice little dart point. So I think this is a Fort Payne chert. Yeah. It's not slick or anything. It's really dry and it's almost like a Rhyolite, but it's not. You don't have to get out the tissues for this one. It is nappable. Yeah. Rhyolite, you got to get the tissues out because you'll cry for sure. Oh yeah. That old saying, it'll make a grown man cry. That applies to Flintknapping many times. Yeah. There's some good material in there. Yeah. Okay. What else we got? When I first looked at some of this, I was thinking, that looks like Kanawha gray or something. this is rough. Yeah, very rough. It can be napped, but it's rough. It's like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 5 being floor tile. It's like a 3. A 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 is stuff that you need, you know, explosives and a jackhammer. Some of the toughest rhyolite falls into the category of 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. Some of the quartzites fall in that category too as a 1. Sometimes a 1 on that scale can become as high as a 7 or 8 after heat treating. Oh yes. What's the rule on heat treating? Try it. Don't ask, just try it. What's it gonna do? It's just rocks. It's not gonna burn your house down. It's not like a piece of wood that will catch fire. Remember to dry it out for 24 hours at 200 degrees so it doesn't blow up in your kitchen oven and break the glass in the front. Other than that, you're good. You don't want to bring it inside. You don't have a turkey roaster, and you got a fancy barbecue grill with a temperature gauge on it. Stick it in the barbecue grill. You got gas powered. I would suggest. I would not suggest cooking it for 200 degrees for 24 hours in your barbecue pit. I would do that in the house first, and then you can bring it outside to the barbecue pit and then heat it up at a higher temperature and hold it for 4 hours. Yeah, some of these barbecue grills can go to 600 degrees and 700 degrees. These fancy ones. Maybe. Heat it in there for, 4 or 6 hours. I think you should have enough wood or gas to do that in one sitting. So I would not nap this. This is nasty. This is like a Kanawha type of chert. It's extremely difficult to thin it down. This is some more of that, probably Fort Payne, but it's not slick. It's very low grade. It's almost like a rhyolite. Yeah, and I don't know if it responds to heat. I do not know. I have not tried it. This is dry. It's not that bad, but it's not that good. It's like a 3. It's like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah. If you're a newbie, it will make you cry for sure. If you're an advanced napper, it's not a big deal. You can get something out of it. Yeah, I gotta throw all this stuff in the heat treat. All of it. Just to see. I doubt it. I'll have good results with it. It's easy, relatively speaking, it's easy to knock off big flakes from big nodules, but when you start thinning down the thin pieces, this kind of stuff doesn't thin. I've tried it before. You'll get a step fractured almond out of it. Now, if the points in your area are made out of this and they look like step fractured almonds, you got it made. Get yourself truckloads of this so you can duplicate your local point styles. Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with step fractured almonds if that's what you got for artifacts in your area. And believe me, I've seen them. Oh yeah. Nappers on YouTube don't make stuff like that because they don't want to teach you how they used to do them back in the day. Otherwise, they'd show you how to make them like they used to back in the day. Yeah. This can be napped. I mean, it's like a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. It fractures, you know. I can get chunks off of it, but you start making arrowheads. No, this is not going to be fun. Anyway, some guys like that stuff. I was just trying to look for something a little bit less grainy. Unless you really like working the dry stuff. I don't know anyone that does, but, you know, it's first for everything. I don't know. Some of this stuff, see how it's not consistent. It's really good here and really bad there. So this is like this is not bad in this area. Right here, this type of flaking is not bad. It's like a 5. But over here, it's like a 1. This over here is not bad. It's like a 4 or 5 as far as nappability goes. On a scale of 1 to 10. What's the best? The finest heat treat is always the best. Below that, below the heat treats, you have the ultra fine true flints and easy to nap raw stuff. So the first is the heat treats, and then the high quality raw, and then the obsidians. All the obsidians. Even the nasty stuff are about 7, 8. No, they're 8. The terrible obsidians, the ones that you can't nap, I don't even consider them nappable. So I don't even put them on the chart. The ones that make the chart are always in the 7 or 8 range or higher. But 8, I would say 8 for obsidians, 9 for high quality flints, 10 for the best heat treats. All right, those are the best. Those are the top 3. 10, 9, and 8. Obsidians, high quality raw. I mean, this is really high quality stuff. It's rare, and then all the nice heat treats. This is on the lower scale, 1, 2, or 3. I said a 5, right? But I'm pushing it. Yeah, this is not good. On the, it's cracked, right? If it wasn't cracked, it wouldn't be too bad. And I don't know if it. I can't remember if this heat treats or not. I'm kind of thinking this does not heat treat, but some of you guys know. Some of you guys know better than I do. Yeah, I mean probably most of you guys, because this is way out of my range as far as collecting stones like this. Stones in Texas are not like this, so I don't have much experience with this stuff. Alright, this one might be interesting. Yeah, this is a high quality one. It's not cracked. This is a high quality chert or chalcedony. Chalcedony. Just put the phone up next to another phone and ask Siri. When I say chalcedony, Siri will show you how to spell it, or whatever program you're using. Do they still have Siri? I don't know. So yeah, if this does not have voids or inclusions, this is pretty good stuff. This is higher than a 5. This is a 6 or a 7 as far as nappability goes. Yeah, you can get good stuff out of this. About a 6 or a 7, yeah. Yep. Okay. It doesn't need heat, obviously. All right. This stuff we do have it here in Texas. I don't know what it's called, but they use it for railroad fill. Yeah, this is gravel. This is railroad gravel. I mean, but we do have this stuff in our rivers too. Yeah, nice and smooth on the outside. Looks like it might be nappable, but it's horrible. Yep. It's good for railroad fill, or whatever they call it. Yeah, this is more of that low-grade Fort Payne stuff. Yeah, it's not good. That particular piece is not good. It comes in various varieties and qualities. What is it? Yeah, just getting grainier and grainier. Yeah, this is not good. It's about a 1 or a 2 nappability. Don't want to insult your local rock, so it's nothing to, I don't have nothing against a rock, but if you want to nap it, you'll be suffering. Yeah, this is pretty bad too. Not quite a 1, but very close. I mean, it's almost impossible. All right, what's next? Almost done, almost there. Gosh, I don't know what this is. What is it? It's crumble stone. Yeah, makes nice landscaping stuff. I like that. But as far as napping it, nope. That's a 1. All right, how about this? Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, it's all crackly, but let's see if there's a solid area in here. This can be napped. This is like a 5. If there's solid areas, there's a lot of issues with it, so it brings it down to like a 2. But if there's no issues, it's around a 5. It's around mid-range. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's see. Is there a possibility? Yeah. If you knock off all the cracked areas, yeah, it'll nap. Let's try this piece, just for grins and giggles. Okay. That's the way I see it. Let's just try it. Yeah, this is mid-range stuff. What is toilet tank? It's about a 4. Floor tile is like 1 step higher than porcelain toilet tank. Depending on the floor tile, sometimes it's really low quality. I've had somebody send me some floor tile and they said, this is what they told me at the store that was good floor tile, and they sent it to me, and I couldn't do anything with it. It was like trying to nap some pottery, which is like a 2 or a 3. You can nap pottery, but it's going to be like a 2. That floor tile was not porcelain. They ripped them off, you know. The one that he sent me said no. It says porcelain, but it's not like the porcelain stuff we have here in my hardware store, or it's just low quality porcelain, or it's, you know, it's a poser. So you've got to experiment. You can't just go by one sample and that's it. Some guys' luck is so bad that they can have 10 samples of 10 different floor tiles and they're all bad. Oh yeah. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I bet you they're out there, and they stopped trying to nap floor tile because everything they got was bad, and someone says, "No man, it's good." So they kept buying it, and nothing was good. I bet you that's happened to somebody. There is good floor tile out there for napping. You just got to keep at it. Maybe go to a different state and buy it. I don't know. They might have different quality controls depending on your state. I don't know. Different construction material laws. I don't know. Should know these things, but all I'm concerned about is if it naps. Yeah, does it nap? If you're having a hard time and you've been at it for a while, you know, if you've been at it for a year, 2 or 3, you're having a hard time with it, it's probably not you, it's probably the material. And someone could hand it to you and say, "This is good," and you get it and it's terrible. And why would he say it's good? He might not have tested that particular piece. Everything else in the whole batch of 100,000 pounds is good except for the one piece he gave you. Yeah, that can happen. And it happens the other way around too. Someone has 100,000 pounds of bad stuff, but the first piece that he grabs out of the riverbed, he's got 100,000 pounds on his property. The first piece he grabs out of the riverbed looks like everything else, except the first piece he grabs naps really well. So he thinks everything's going to nap really well. So he starts giving it away without testing it. And guess what? He grabbed the only piece in that 100,000 pound batch that was any good. And it was his first one. I bet you that happens. I bet you. So you got to watch it. Oh yes. When I first started napping, the frustration levels were so high. That if you take it seriously, it will drive you absolutely insane. You have to just go with the flow and expect bad luck with everything. And never think two rocks are the same. Even though they might be, exactly. The default position is, I've got the one piece that's excellent, or I got the one piece that's absolutely terrible out of a 100,000 pound batch. You have to assume that. And until you test thousands of pounds of it, you will not have any idea what that stone is actually like and what the range of quality will be for that stone. And then when you find out, let's say you nap 3,000 pounds of that 100,000 pounds, you have a pretty good idea how it is. It may be different, 50 miles down the road. Looks exactly the same as yours, but it's totally different in nappability. And it's only 50 miles down the road. So moral of the story, you gotta test everything. This particular piece is not bad, but it's not consistent. So there's some areas that are crunchy on this and some areas that are good. Just on this one little piece. But yeah, it naps a little bit better than floor tile. So it's like a 6, as long as there's no issues. I'm getting some areas in here that are like a 4 or a 5. Or worse, maybe a 3. Yeah, some of these areas are really, even on this little piece, some of these areas are difficult to nap through. And some are not. Some are pretty easy. Now I had to hit that hard, but you can see this is, see that gloss? It's usually good where it's glossy. Like this part up here is good. This part down here is kind of crunchy. What can you make out of it? Make little almonds out of it. Yeah. Now that you know how to haft them, you got it made. Yep. No? You're not going to go hunting with those almond points? Man. I made the video for nothing. Yeah, if I was worried about that, I wouldn't make many of the videos that I did make. I'm not really worried if it's going to be useful or not as a video. I mean, I would like it if it was very useful to everybody. My main concern is quantity. I just want to get a bunch of videos out. Yeah, quantity. And we'll worry about the quality as time goes on. If the videos are out, people can interact with the video in the comment section, and we can all try to learn something. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Oh, this is 3/8 inch steel, by the way, but people won't be watching this long. 33 minutes. We lost most of them, so they won't know that it's 3/8, and they'll go, "What's the size of that? What's the size of that?" And I've been making mistakes, right? Because I think I was saying this is 1/2 inch aluminum. I use a lot of, this is not 1/2 inch, this is 5/8. This is 1/2 inch aluminum. I use them both. I might have actually called this one a 1/2 inch. I don't know. Might have messed a bunch of people up. I was thinking about that today. But you know what? It doesn't matter all that much. The size or the diameter of it, it doesn't matter all that much. If you got something close, if it looks close, if it's 1/16 of an inch off, it's not that bad. It's not going to make a big difference. Of course, the smaller you get, you know, if you're 1/4 inch and you're 1/16 of an inch off, it's, yeah, it makes a little bit of difference. But once you start getting up to 3/8, a 1/2 inch, 5/8, if you're a 1/16 of an inch off, it's not going to be a big deal. But yeah, I get it. You want to know exactly that way. If there is something going on, you don't want the question up in the air. Well, maybe the flaker was the wrong size. That's what messed me up. You don't want that hanging around in the back of your mind. So yeah, use the exact same size. Chances are it was not the size of the flaker. But, you know, I never know. With some nappers, the size of the tools makes a big difference because of the way they nap. What way is that? I don't know. Maybe they're putting an enormous amount of stress on the tools. Maybe they're hitting way harder than I am. Maybe they're not hitting as hard. Maybe they're not hitting nearly as hard as I am. It does make a difference. The hardness or the power of the strikes does make a difference when you're talking about different size tools. Yeah. If you have a large size tool and you're not hitting it proportionately harder than a smaller size, it's not going to work for you. That sort of thing. Or maybe it will. I don't know. But in general, I would think that with a larger tool, if you're not hitting it proportionately harder, you're not going to get the same results I'm getting with that size. Probably. So yeah, there is that. All right. Why did I take the glove off? Because it feels like I need to get more feedback. I need to feel what's going on here. I'm feeling like this is going to be a little bit too difficult to thin down the thin piece. So I need to feel what's going on here. With the glove, it seems like it wasn't going anywhere. And sometimes the glove is too much padding and I need to add more force. So with the glove on, it kind of saps away some of the force. Maybe. But I can't tell unless I take the glove off. This feels almost like a Rhyolite. But not as bad. Rhyolite's really, really tough. Now, should I grind this more? Probably. But the way I nap, I don't like to sit here and grind everything down to extremely dull. If I have to grind it a lot, I stick it in the back of my mind as a not very nappable friendly stone. If I have to sit there and grind it and grind it and grind it to get the edges strong enough, it's not friendly. It's not napper friendly. And I won't recommend it. Someone will ask me, is it good? Well, no. Why? I don't know, there was something about it. Oh yeah, I remember now. I had to sit there and grind it forever. Yeah. So no, it's not good. Yeah, but I don't mind grinding, you might say. I like grinding. I like sitting there and just grind it down. But then go to town. Hoo-hoo. You'll be in heaven with this stuff. There we go. Reached the limit. I reached the limit of my ability. Because there was nothing wrong with the stone. I don't think there's a defect in there. No. That's just a clean snap. So, that's as thin as I can go with this particular piece. So if I were to make arrowheads out of it, they would be thick. Yep. But it naps alright. And you can make arrowheads out of it. Where is the pressure flaker? so I can test out. Oh yeah, it'll pressure flake. Yep. So once you get the almond, it'll pressure flake to a nice edge. Yep. Come on. Don't make me take it back. Make me eat my words. You can get the edge sufficiently thin to be a good cutting edge, yeah. I would say so. And it's like it's very similar to a high quality rhyolite. That's what it might be. Let's see what kind of an edge I can get on it. Come on. No. I can only get short flakes. Come on. Let's get some bulbs so I can thin down that edge. Is it thin enough? It feels a little bit sharp. Yeah. Okay, so you can make stuff out of it. All right. What's next? Well, let's see. I should measure the width to thickness ratio millimeters. 25. No, 28. Let's see. By 9. It's like 3 to 1. It's between 3 to 1 and 4 to 1. You can get down to 4 to 1 probably, which is perfectly okay. 3 to 1, you're pushing it. That's almond. Where's my... Oh yeah, I got plenty of room. This is the worst case scenario foreshaft. Let's see, the normal foreshaft. No, it's a little bit too thick for the normal one. Where's my average? I had an average in here somewhere, or did I not? I'm gonna make me like 20 foreshafts so I can have a whole stack, because I keep losing them. Anyway, this will work for a little dart point type material. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't mind it. Yeah, even though it'll make you work to get stuff out of it, if you have a lot of this, yeah, I would suggest gathering a bunch of it and then breaking it all up and see if you've got some good areas. Yeah, so it'll nap. I don't know what it is. It doesn't need heat. That's the best stuff. It will nap. It doesn't need heat, and you can get a fine edge on it. Yeah, it's good. All right. Ooh, this looks like some of that same stuff. Let's see. It's just all crackly. Yeah, that's all crackly. That's not going to be worth anything. Oh, I should take that back. This might be worth it. Here, this little flake. It's the same stuff. Came off of this piece. This, I don't know. This might be salvageable. Yeah. Get all the crud off. Oh yeah. Come on. Yeah, I can probably get something out of this. That chunk. This one not so much. It's got crunchy areas. All right, so are we done? Yeah, this was, it's like some of the other stuff that I napped through earlier. Yeah, it might be heat treatable, maybe. Most of this stuff does not look heat treatable. Some of it looks like it does not need heat. This does not need heat, and neither does that down there, but this is the winner here. Whatever this is. Yeah. Now can I nap this into anything? I don't know. There's a lot of inclusions in it. I can nap this into something small. As far as something large, probably not. Okay, so there you go. Hope that helps. Thanks for sending me this stuff. I saw a bunch of this in Tennessee when I was there last time, but I didn't see any of this stuff. One by 3 is a good average for little dart points. 1 inch by 3 inches. This one is 2.5, a little bit over 1. So making points, they're gonna be a little bit smaller than average, unless you're very skilled at napping this stuff. You can probably get good at napping it. It just has inconsistencies in it. All right. I think that's it. Yeah. Should I just take a snapshot of the debitage? I don't know. All right, we're going to move on to the next video. All right.